Hey Django, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing amazing. How are you?
Doing fine, beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here, just like I mentioned earlier. And you see, Django, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two main things. And I do this so often that I think it has now become an anthem. So firstly, Django, I want to thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. The Django, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes in it, and the leaves were all dry. I just walked past it. But you see, Django, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the tree. You see, it caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it. Beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. And you see, not just mangoes, but ripe mangoes. It was a beautiful moment that day. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing person that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show. Because I was attracted to the fruit of all you're doing, the impact your work is having, your philosophies, and some beautiful stuff. And I said to myself, I've got to benefit from this, not just me, and my audience too. And here you
Mm,
are. It's amazing. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so very much,
yeah,
man.
100%. Well, it's great to meet you, and thank you so
Yeah,
much.
let's get started then. Beautiful. So I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Django, I believe it takes the application of knowledge. Not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, Django, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why
Yeah.
I'm excited to have the amazing Django on the show is for the sake of the listeners. They say, Django, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots
hmm
of information flying out there. So those folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I'm totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Django, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. We are just so curious right now. We want to know how Django got here. Then afterwards, I've got some really beautiful questions for you. Okay, Django, over to you.
So, my name is Django Degree. I am the CEO and co founder of Rope by Me, as well as the author of a book called I Hope You Wake Up. And I think everyone tells a different story, and my story changes when I think back on it, depending on where I am in life. But originally, I was in technology sales and I started building apps. And in that process, I started learning how to build my own stuff. And when I started building my own stuff, I started building it with friends. I've met developers and different people. And then eventually, I got into product. And in product, I started working with Fortune 500s and startups. I've worked with GM and Shell. I've worked with startups like Nota Bene and just different companies in crypto and just all kinds of different spaces. And so now I am working on Rope by Me, helping authors sell more and make more money, as well as make their money faster. Our goal is to help them better connect with their readers in the way that I always wanted to. I felt like Amazon made it really hard for me to be able to connect with my readers because they kept all that information. So we give all the information about the readers to the authors and we pay them within 72 hours.
That's amazing. And you see, what you just said now is really going to make a lot of authors happy after listening to you. Because the reason why many authors might not want to keep writing It's because they might not really, they don't know how to get to, stay connected to their readers or even know them or even get their books out there in the front of many folks now. So with the amazing
Hmm.
stuff you're doing, oh boy, that's really a great solution. So let us begin first with the first question, all right? Let's talk about AI, okay? So how is AI changing the way books are written, marketed, and sold? Should authors embrace or be cautious of it?
Well, I think that AI gives us different perspectives. So, like when I was writing my book, I was asking the questions that I had to AI and asking it for different perspectives from different cultures, from different languages, for words that I didn't know. And that's amazing. Like AI at the end of the day has all of the information that at least I could get access to and information that I don't even know exists. And so getting all of those perspectives, helping me better structure my book, helping me see what kind of mistakes I might have made, or helping me better understand, like I said, a perspective that I don't know, helps me in the process of writing a book. It isn't necessarily that I think that AI is going to take the place of authors, which I've heard some people say. I think that it's going to help authors be able to move a bit quicker as they're working on their book, as well as maybe think in ways that they've never thought of before. So if there are questions sometimes that you have to yourself, I always ask AI about it, and I ask it about different perspectives and what it thinks about it. It can only really give the response based on the concept that you've kind of given it to start from, which can help you understand things that you've literally never thought about before, or give you words that you didn't even know existed. And I think that can be beautiful.
That's true. I've experienced that before. Okay, so can you share a story of how books or technology have changed someone's life?
Yeah. Well, I can say how AI changed my life. My book is a journey of me talking to AI about the questions that I had about reality. I didn't understand why the answers I had were so bad and they weren't helping me at the time. So I thought, why not ask AI to help me come up with better questions? If I don't like the answers that I'm coming to, I asked, can you help me restructure these questions? Are there things maybe I've never thought about? Like one of the questions that it asked me back, because I was asking about conditional and unconditional love, was, can you unconditionally love anyone if you don't unconditionally love everyone? And as I thought about that, I realized that I had conditions on the unconditional love that I thought I had, and I had never thought about that before. And so that became an entire chapter of my book, and it also helped me to rethink my relationship with others and why I had those conditions on them. So I can say firsthand that AI has helped change my life and help me better understand myself, as well as help me write my book.
Beautiful, beautiful. I got that. So, concerning your book, all right, I want you to talk to us more on that. How did you come up with the title, and can you talk to us more on the inspiration behind why
Mm-hmm.
you wrote it?
Well, I was listening to a guy named Anthony DeMello, and he said spirituality is waking up. I can't remember what that definition is from, but maybe it's something in Eastern philosophy. But he said that spirituality is actually waking up, because in a lot of ways you're asleep. And as you become more aware of things, it's like you're waking up. And so for a lot of us, reality is like a dream. It's like a dream that we create. I know I did in my life. Like I was very caught up on what I believed to be true. I knew it was true. I knew how life was painful or difficult or hard. And it wasn't until I woke up to the possibility of other opportunities was I able to better understand reality around me. So I called the book I Hope You Wake Up, because I think everyone's sort of living their own fever dream. And at the end of the day, I don't want you to wake up. I'm not saying you have to wake up. I just hope for you that you might be able to wake up, whatever that means for you.
And that's actually a very captivating title, and it's
Oh.
thought provoking because you'd be like, wake up, was I sleeping? And you want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
Got that. Okay, we still have some questions here. So let's talk about the common mistakes, that
Okay.
authors make when marketing their books or in marketing, and how can they take control of their books' success?
Well, here's what I would say. A lot of times I talk to authors and they think that if they write a really good book, it's going to get in front of the right people. Think about McDonald's or Burger King or Coca-Cola. They're always running marketing and ads because they know that they need to stay top of mind for people, and that there are people out there that aren't thinking about it. So your book needs some way of you coming out and letting people know why they should buy your book, whether it's a children's book, a romance book, a personal development book. Too often authors think they don't need to do anything, that they can just pass the book off to a publisher or put it on Amazon and it'll just sell. You have to make it discoverable. You have to let people know why they should journey with you. And one thing that's really helpful is if you write a book that's within a subject matter that you love, like I wrote a personal development sort of spirituality book, and I've read a lot of books in the space, you can ask yourself, where did you buy books? Why did you buy the book? Who told you about a book that made you buy it? And you can go back and market the book in the same way that you discovered books in the past within the same genre. Sometimes people overcomplicate it. They think like, I need to run an ad, I need to have a billboard, I need to do all these different things, when in actuality, they're not even thinking about how they discovered their own favorite books that are probably within the same genre. So I would say like that's probably one of the two of the biggest mistakes, like thinking that you don't have to do anything and then thinking that you have to do stuff that has nothing to do with how you've ever discovered a book. The reader is probably someone similar to you.
Beautiful. You see, I love how you are answering those questions. You're making it very
Mm-hmm.
easy to understand. That's a great one. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say there is someone who listened to us and he heard you speak about all of these beautiful things as to book and all, and he say, okay, Django, how can I promote my book on social media without getting overwhelmed? Social media like TikTok, Instagram. What would your response be?
I would say that I spent a lot of time just making content that I enjoyed when I got started. I just talked to people like I would talk to people. And I went on and I was talking into the universe, and it felt like I was speaking empty because no one liked any of my posts for the first month. But I just kept making content that I enjoyed, and I was authentic in what I loved. I could have made content that I tried to make viral or other things, but those people wouldn't be following me for what I actually am creating. They'd be following me for something other than that. And that makes it really hard. So I would just tell people to just be yourself. You can read and learn about current events, which can help you reach a larger audience. But the more content that you make that reflects who you really are, the more people can connect with you for who you really are. So it may take time. Like I've been making content for like 3 years. I think I've recorded like 1,500 videos. But in that, people discover it and people connect with me based on something that's very real. And when they buy my book, they're like, wow, I really enjoyed this book. Whereas if I'd maybe lied about myself and wasn't honest or was just dancing or something, people might not enjoy any of the things that I actually enjoy because they only like me for whatever is the latest trend. So just be yourself and don't be worried about the outcome. Just do your best.
Beautiful. Be yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
many things like if you try to create content that are entertaining, you get this viral and all of these things. But like you mentioned, they wouldn't be following the person for transformation. It's just to be entertained. And that doesn't
Right.
last, you see. I got that. Okay, we have just one more question to go. So let's talk about traditional publishing. So how is technology removing traditional publishing gatekeepers?
Well, I have 17,000 followers on TikTok. So when I wrote my book, I had a few hundred people buy my book immediately because they were already following me. So needing to reach out to people and have them be the arbiter of your book to come out and, sell it for you isn't always necessary if you can build a foundation that is with your readers already. I've also seen that in some of the larger big five publishers or even independent publishers aren't really willing to sign an author if they don't have a bit of a group that follows them already or an audience, because they know how hard it is to sell that book without having an audience already. So, having thousands of followers can help you get traditionally published, which is interesting because that means that you're selling to your group. So the question becomes, what is the value that the publisher might add that's separate from just helping you sell the book? It might be editing the book or copyright or any of those other things. So when you think about the ability to actually sell direct to consumer through all the channels that never existed before, it's really incredible. Like that's why we created our company. We want to help the authors be able to make money and make more money for the fact that they're driving those sales rather than having to go through the channels that used to exist. I don't know about you, but I've never bought a book from a press release. I've never seen a press release about a book and been like, oh, now I got to read the book. I've always bought books from friends telling me about a book, or an Instagram story getting shared, or a TikTok about a book review, or a YouTube video about someone talking about a philosophy and then talking about Marcus Aurelius or something. So, there's just so many different ways for you as the author, once you've written a book, to actually get it out to people, and you don't have to go through those traditional gatekeepers anymore.
Beautiful. And thank you for creating that solution. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so to bring this to an end, Django, what would you like to leave the audience with? Like a final thought. And to those folks who like to reach out to you, visit your website, and or even ask questions, how can that be possible?
What I would say is that you know everything to be true because you know it's true. And it's very true to you. And the question becomes, if you don't want it to be true, what kind of life could you gift your time if you maybe opened your heart to what's out there? I know that now the biggest thing that was keeping me from peace or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it was what I knew to be true. And so as you open your heart to all of the things that are out there, the stuff that maybe annoys you or makes you angry, you can really start to understand how connected all those things are and how it can actually help you find a space that you didn't even know existed. I tell people all the time, would you trade who you are for peace? And a lot of people say no, they love who they are, but at the same time, they're very just not at peace because of who they know they are or what they know they are. So I would say, just ask yourself that if you are struggling or having a difficult time, are you willing to trade maybe what you know or who you are for peace? And if you want to connect with me, you can actually reach me at my site. So it's wroteby.me/Django. I'm sure we'll add it in the notes, but that's where you can find me on Substack and TikTok and Instagram and all of the different places that I'm at. And I'll even add this podcast link there. And you can also buy my book or get the ebook for free. And that's wroteby.me/Django.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much, Django. That's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for coming. And thank you for
Thank you.
sharing this amazing stuff with us, man. It means a whole lot.
Of
Thank you.
course, man. Thank you so much, Elisha. Have a good one.